Hi folks, hope you're okay today. I just want to talk about how to help your husband off porn. And basically the way to help your husband off porn is to not let your husband be isolated. Whatever the work your husband's doing, if he feels isolated, then he'll be tempted to watch things that he shouldn't be watching. Pornography really is looking for intimacy. So obviously if the person is looking for intimacy in the pornography, then they have lost some intimacy, and that losing of intimacy is probably due to either the person's been overworked and they're tired and they're not able to talk to their wife, either they have become isolated in some way within their community, like I said, through either overwork, criticism, either dealing with issues in their own life where they become insular, etc. So what you have to do is to bring your husband out of his isolation, however that isolation is manifesting itself, and to communicate to him that he is loved, that that whatever he is worrying about, he doesn't have to worry about. That will go a long way to help. If your husband persists, then you need to tell your pastor, and you need to tell him what your husband's doing, and then ask your pastor to come and talk to your husband. But I would say that the best way to deal with it is to talk to your husband and to communicate to him that he's loved. And you'll find that he's on these things because he's isolated, or he's isolated himself, and you need to get to the bottom of why he's isolated himself and to deal with the root cause of that isolation. And that goes for any young person here today who might be addicted to porn. The reason why you're addicted to porn is because you're looking for intimacy, you're looking for that elusive something that when you get it, it never satisfies you. And the way to deal with that for yourself is to make sure that you're in community, make sure that you're developing intimate relationships with friends, and you'll find that that will help you tremendous a lot with not watching pornography. Also, tell your pastor that you're struggling, and he will pray for you, and let others know that you're struggling, and don't be ashamed to let people know. And for those in the community, Christian community, once someone is tabled that they've been watching pornography, people can look at them in a judgmental way, and that's really, really bad. When people are seeking support and help, you might not sin in pornography, but there might be some other sin where you fail. You might have pride, you might have some other issue, so you shouldn't judge other people if they're struggling in an area. So the community, the church community, has to be a church that's willing to help people who struggle with this. And a lot of young people and a lot of men are struggling with this issue in church, and the church has to be willing to be realistic that there are people struggling, and be supportive to people. And collective prayer and love and support is a great way of helping people get through a very difficult struggle in their life. So I would just say that the key word is compassion, the key word is understanding, the key word is community, and these are key words. And I think also, to the men and the young men out there, that what you're looking for ultimately is not going to satisfy you. It doesn't satisfy you. That God created sex for a reason, for a purpose, and only in that purpose of a marriage is sex truly fulfilled. And don't let yourself and don't let the devil rob you of what God wants for you. I want to say to the young people out there that I know it's extremely hard for you, and very difficult to struggle with the desires that you have. And I just want to say that the defeat that you keep feeling and the failure that you keep feeling, that maybe even wants you to commit suicide, because you keep failing as a Christian. You think, well, what's the point? I can't continue as a Christian because I'm made like this, and yet I continue to sin and fail in this area. I just want you to say, if you get to that point, then you need to let people know that you are struggling, to let your pastor know, and your pastor needs to support you, and also Christians need to support you. And prayer from fellow believers and support from fellow believers is a tremendous help. But what will help you most of all, I think, is not being isolated, to make sure that you're amongst people, to make sure that you're active and busy, and doing things. And in that way you won't be tempted to be alone on your computer, or wherever your computer device is, and fail in watching things that are not helpful. But if you keep failing and have failed, the grace of God is there for you, the love of God is there for you, and He understands that it is a struggle for you. And ultimately God is with you. Ultimately God is going to perfect that which He's begun in you, and ultimately you will get victory. And I would just say that if you can't take any more, share your burden, and those who hear the burden, you have to carry them with prayer. Those are my thoughts anyway. Alright, take care.